to the Hawthorne Studio. My name is Jessica, and today we are going to learn how to make hand-poured luxury candles using wooden wicks right from our home. Today we will be using the double boiler method. You will need a large pot on your heat source with 1 to 2 inches of water. This is so our wax does not burn by being directly onto the heat. To complete the setup, we will need a stainless steel pouring pitcher. I like to rest mine at the edge of the pot so the handle doesn't get hot from the steam. Let's talk about the tools of the trade. You will need a scale. A food scale is acceptable, but try not to use a weight or a shipping scale. We will be measuring all of our ingredients today. You can either use ounces or grams, it's up to you. Make sure not to use fluid ounces. I personally prefer a laboratory precision scale. This scale has an accuracy reading of 0.001 ounces. For stirring your ingredients, you will need a silicone spatula. You can use metal, but I try to stay away from wood because it is difficult to clean. I personally prefer to use a glass stirring rod because they are durable and incredibly easy to clean off. Next, you will need a thermometer. You can use either a candy thermometer or a meat thermometer. It's up to you and your preference. Some people like to use infrared thermometers as well. Lastly, you will need a container to measure your fragrance oils or essential oils in. Glass is the most durable and my preferred preference. Try not to use thin plastic, paper, or styrofoam because the oils will eat through those types of materials. Another cheap option are mini thick plastic sauce cups. These ones are Betty Crocker and I picked them up from the dollar store. Now we have to choose your container. Today I am using a 12-ounce jar with a 3.5-inch inner diameter. It is important to know what your jar's inner diameter is because you will need that number in order to choose a wick. Your wooden wicks come with a wick clip. This wick clip is special because it is raised by 1/2 inch. This is a safety feature so the candle stops burning when there is 1/2 inch of wax left. This decreases the chances of your candle glass cracking or breaking. Today, I am using a 0.02 Whisper Booster wick in a 0.75 size. You should choose a wick based off of your vessel diameter and wax type. Not every single wick is made the same. To help figure out what wick you need to use, visit the woodenwick.com website. They are the pioneers of wooden wicks, and they have a sample pack that will give you access to every single wooden wick needed for any vessel or wax. Woodenwick.com also has a free wick selection guide that will help you get started with picking your wick. I also created an in-depth PDF guide on the fundamentals of wooden wicks, along with some tips and tricks I've learned along the way. You can download it below for free in the description box below. Lastly, you will need some wick stickers for securing our wicks. Some people like to use high temperature glue guns, but I find it a little messy. Use what works best for you though. These ones are cheap and they're from Amazon. Let's prep our candle container for pouring. Secure your wick clip to either end of the wooden wick. Place your wick sticker at the base of the wick clip. If you are using a hot glue gun, go ahead and do that now. You're also going to want to remove the double-sided tape at the other end. Okay, now it's time to secure your wick to the center of the jar. Apply a light pressure and give it a small tug test to make sure it's secure. Now that our candle is prepped and ready, let's go ahead and choose a wax. For today's demonstration, I am using Coconut Apricot Cream, also known as Sita Serica. This is a high-end luxury wax that is high-performing and easy to use. It is an FDA-approved natural wax that is bright white with a soft, creamy consistency. What makes this wax luxurious is its performance. It has an amazing scent release, also known as hot throw. It is great for beginners and advanced candle makers alike. Some other options for luxury waxes are Soy Bliss and Virgin Coconut Soy. If you are using those waxes today, then follow my same instructions. The fragrance I am using today is lavender and ylang. It is a mixture of essential oils and non-toxic fragrance oils. Luxury waxes can safely hold up to 12% fragrance oils, but when you are using wooden wicks, it is probably better to use anywhere from 7 to 10% fragrance oils. The reason why is because wooden wicks perform better at lower fragrance oil percentages. Ironically, less is more is a true statement when working with wooden wicks. Today I'm using 9%. Let's figure out how to calculate exactly how much fragrance oil and wax we need to measure. The good news is that there's an app for everything. The same is true for candle making. Open up your app store and look for the app called the Candle Maker Calculator. It will be the one with the white icon. This app is useful because it will do the math for us and it is 100% accurate. Open the app. As you can see, there is an option to input how many candles you are making, how much wax each candle needs, and how much oil you want to use for your candle. To change the metric to grams, go to Preferences and turn off Imperial. Today, we are making one candle. We need 12 ounces of total product, and I'm using 9% fragrance oil. Below, it will show you the final results. According to this calculation, I will need 11.01 ounces of wax and 0.99 ounces of fragrance oil. If you are making more than one candle and you are using the same oil and same jar, the only number you will have to change is the first line. For example, if I wanted to make 13 of these 12-ounce candles at 9% fragrance oil, I will only need to change the first line to 13. The calculator will convert the numbers to bulk for you. Let's figure out how the calculator came up with these numbers. Every candle maker should learn how to do this simple math equation. I will be using my numbers today, which is 12 ounces of product and 9% fragrance oil. We need to subtract 9% from 12 ounces. To do this, we will take the number 12 and divide it by 1.09, which represents subtracting our 9%. This will give us a total of 11.009. We just need to round up to 11.01. This is how much wax we need to use. To find out the fragrance oil, the easiest way is to just subtract 11.01 from our original number, which was 12. This will give us 0.99% fragrance oil. To double check your math, all you have to do is multiply 11.01 by 9%, which is 0.09 in a calculator. It will still give us 0.99%, which means our math was correct. To replicate this equation, just change out your numbers. If you're using a different percentage, let's say 10%, you will need to use 1.10 instead of 1.09 and so forth. Let's measure out our wax first. Tear out your scale with your stainless steel pitcher on it. Since I'm using ounces on a food scale, my scale only reads by 0.05 increments, so I'm going to get as close to 11.01 ounces as I can. To avoid this issue, it would be more accurate to use grams, but I normally use a precision scale when I use ounces. Now that that's done, let's measure out our fragrance oil next. Don't forget to tear out your scale. I'm going to show you a quick, easy trick to a clean pour. Sometimes oil will leak down the side of the bottle while you are pouring because the bottle opening is so large. The best way to fix this issue is to take a stick and we're going to lean the bottle opening against the stick. This will create a makeshift slide for the oil to travel down into the container rather than on the side of the bottle. I overpoured my oil, but that's okay. Just take a pipette and remove the excess and place it back into the bottle. Let's take out our double boiler. You will also need your wax and thermometer. Place your thermometer into the pitcher with the wax and place it on the edge of your pot. Set the temperature to high. We are aiming for a temperature of 200 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep in mind, this may take 30 minutes to boil. There's also a possibility that your double boiler will not reach higher than 200 degrees, and that's perfectly fine. Remove the pitcher from the pot. As you can see, my wax started to cool almost immediately as soon as I removed it from the heat. This wax cools very quickly, so we need to work just as quick. At this point, I'm going to immediately add in the fragrance oil. Do not wait for the temperature to drop any more than it already has. Begin stirring for 30 to 45 seconds. Luxury waxes are unique because they require a much higher temperature than traditional waxes like 464 soy wax. Dominantly coconut waxes need a higher temperature in order for the fragrances to bind to the wax. Once you are done stirring, immediately pour your wax into the jar. Your wax should be around 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit by the time you pour. Try not to pour below 175 degrees Fahrenheit. If it dips below that, put it back into the double boiler until 180 degrees and then pour again. Now that we are done, we just have to wait for it to cool. Coconut apricot cools very quickly, so it won't take long for us to see our results. Before trimming your wick, let your candle sit until it's fully cool. This usually takes about 24 hours. Don't put it in the fridge. I've tried. Let's just take a moment to admire our work. The beauty of luxury waxes is that this buttery smooth top was effortless. This is part of the experience you pay for when you use a luxury wax. The ease of use is unprecedented. My favorite part is how creamy the wax looks. It gives an amazing first impression. The best part is the wax maintains its creamy smoothness even after it burns. Now let's move forward with trimming the wick. You will need 2 tools to get the job done. The first tool is a wick trimmer. You can also use clean nail clippers or scissors. The second tool is nail pliers. This is by far the easiest way to trim a wooden wick for the first time. Take your wick trimmers and cut off the excess wick first. We are planning to aim for 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch for a trim. Now we're going to go in with the nail pliers to finish the job. Some people prefer 1/8 of an inch, however, I like 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch is equivalent to the width of a USB. I recommend starting at 1/4 of an inch and working your way down. If you don't like it, then you can always trim it to 1/8 of an inch. All right, now our candle is all done and it looks beautiful. Good job. Okay, so now that our candle is all done, it looks beautiful, you want to burn it, right? Bad news. When it comes to candle making, it does need time to cure. The wax needs time to bond with the oils that you put in it, whether you're using essential oils or fragrance oils. So you will have to wait 1 to 2 weeks, 2 weeks being preferred, in order to smell the candle properly and in order to test the candle properly. And if you're wondering how you test the candle, that is a whole different video. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get notified when I launch the rest of the candle making series. This is definitely just a beginner tutorial and it does get a little bit more complicated down the line, but I am here to walk you through it. All right, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit up my Instagram at Hawthorne Company. My website is also hawthornecompany.com, and please feel free to sign up for newsletter updates. All right, thank you so much for watching. Bye.